Sophia Stephen was a young woman with dreams far greater than her modest life allowed. At just 23, she worked tirelessly at Lisa's Diner, a small, aging restaurant in the heart of New York City. The peeling paint on the walls and the flickering neon sign outside reflected her struggles. Yet, she always greeted everyone with a smile. Sophia had a gift, not just for serving customers, but for making them feel valued. Despite long hours and minimal wages, she had a habit that made her stand out. Every night after work, she gathered leftover food from the diner and gave it to the homeless on her way home. To her, it was a small act of kindness. To those she helped, it was everything. One particularly cold night, rain poured heavily, soaking the city streets. Sophia clutched her worn jacket tightly as she hurried home. Then, she noticed a small figure huddled under a bus stop shelter. A boy, no older than 8, shivered in the storm, his clothes soaked through. She stopped, her heart aching. "Hey there," she said gently, kneeling beside him. "Are you okay? Where are your parents?" The boy looked up, his face pale and frightened. "I don't have anyone," he whispered. "I'm hungry." Without hesitation, Sophia took his hand and led him back to the diner. The rain drenched them both, but she didn't care. Once inside, she wrapped him in a warm blanket and served him a hot bowl of soup. As he ate, his face lit up, and Sophia felt warmth in her heart despite the cold night. What she didn't know was that someone had been watching. Across the street, a sleek black car sat idling softly. Inside was David Brin, a billionaire known for his sharp business mind and private nature. After a stressful day, he had been driving through the quiet streets to clear his head. Then, he saw her. At first, it was just curiosity. A young woman, out in the rain, kneeling beside a homeless child. But as he watched her lead the boy to the diner and care for him, he couldn't look away. Her kindness was so genuine, so selfless, that it struck something deep within him. "Who is she?" David murmured. His eyes locked on the diner. For the first time in years, he felt something stir inside, wonder, admiration. He jotted down the name of the diner and drove away, but the image of Sophia stayed with him long after he returned to his luxurious penthouse. The next few days blurred together for Sophia. Between double shifts and caring for her younger brother, she barely had time to think about the boy she had helped. But the memory of his smile stayed with her, giving her strength to push through her exhaustion. Meanwhile, David couldn't stop thinking about the waitress. He had everything money could buy, yet he couldn't shake the image of her standing in the rain, offering warmth and kindness to someone who had nothing. It wasn't just her actions that captivated him, it was the purity of her heart. He needed to know more. One evening, dressed in a tailored suit that felt out of place in a diner, David walked through Lisa's door. The bell jingled softly, catching Sophia's attention. She balanced a tray of plates, her hair slightly frizzy from the humidity, but her smile was as radiant as ever. For a moment, David froze. The familiarity of her face struck him. Sophia greeted him with warmth. "Welcome to Lisa's. Have a seat anywhere you like," she said cheerfully, though curiosity flickered in her eyes. David chose a corner booth, watching as she worked. She treated everyone with the same kindness he had seen that rainy night. She helped an elderly man count his change, offered a free coffee refill to a struggling mother, and even checked on a regular who seemed unusually quiet. Every interaction confirmed what David already suspected. She was extraordinary. When his meal was finished, he handed Sophia the bill without saying much. But as he left, he discreetly slipped an envelope under his plate. She didn't notice it until clearing the table. Inside was a stack of crisp bills, far more than any normal tip. Her hands trembled as she counted the money. Her mind raced with questions. She ran outside, searching for the mysterious man, but he was already gone. The sleek black car she had noticed earlier was nowhere in sight. That night, she couldn't stop wondering, who was he? And why had he left such a generous tip? The next morning, the restaurant buzzed with activity. Sophia tied on her apron, ready for another shift, unaware that her life was about to change. Her mind drifted to the homeless boy. She hoped he had found a safe place to rest. But soon, her focus returned to the customers coming in for breakfast. Around midday, the front door swung open. A tall, well-dressed man stepped inside. His tailored suit and polished shoes stood out among the casual diners. Sophia didn't notice at first, busy taking an elderly couple's order. But then, the hostess approached her. "That gentleman over there asked for you to be his server." Sophia glanced at the man in surprise. She didn't recognize him at first. But when their eyes met, a strange sense of familiarity tugged at her. The man smiled warmly, his gaze lingering as if studying her. Shrugging off the odd feeling, Sophia approached his table, notepad and pen in hand. "Good afternoon," she said, her usual friendly tone in place. "What can I get you today?" The man hesitated before replying. "I'll take the special of the day, but only if you promise to take a break and join me for coffee later." Sophia blinked, caught off guard. "Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't usually take breaks during my shift. Is there anything else you'd like with your order?" The man chuckled. "Just the special for now," he said, handing her the menu. As Sophia walked away, she couldn't shake the feeling that something about him was different. It was as if he recognized her but chose to stay silent. Throughout the meal, the man observed Lily carefully. He noticed how she treated every customer with patience and kindness. Even during the busiest moments, she carried trays effortlessly, smiled at even the grumpiest diners, and checked on each table to ensure satisfaction. To him, it was obvious. Sophia wasn't just hardworking. She was exceptional. When she brought him the bill, he reached into his wallet and pulled out a credit card. Just as she turned to leave, he stopped her. "Wait," he said. "There's something I'd like to ask you." Sophia paused, tilting her head in curiosity. "Yes." The man leaned forward slightly. "Do you remember helping a homeless man last week?" Her eyes widened in surprise. "Yes, I do. But how do you know that?" He smiled knowingly. "Let's just say I saw something special that day. A young woman going out of her way to help someone in need. I was impressed by your compassion." Sophia blushed, slightly embarrassed. "It was nothing. He needed help, and I just did what anyone should do." "Not everyone would have done what you did," the man said firmly. "Most people would have walked by without a second thought." He handed her a folded piece of paper along with the bill. "This is for you. Open it after I leave." Lily hesitated but took the paper, too polite to refuse. She watched as he stood up, gave her one last smile, and walked out of the restaurant. Curiosity took over, and she quickly unfolded the note. Inside was a check for $50,000. Beneath the staggering amount was a handwritten message. "Your kindness has inspired me. Use this to create the future you deserve. A grateful stranger." Sophia's heart raced. She clutched the check, her hands trembling. She ran outside, scanning the street for any sign of the man, but he had disappeared. Her mind swirled with questions. Who was he? Why would he give her such a gift? And why did he seem so familiar? That night, in her tiny apartment, she couldn't stop thinking about the mysterious man. She wanted to return the check. It was far too much money to accept. But there was no contact information on the note, and she had no way to find him. Days turned into weeks, and the money began changing Sophia's life. She paid off her debts and started saving for her dream, a small cafe where anyone, even the homeless, could find a warm meal and a welcoming smile. Yet, she still wondered about the stranger who had given her this chance. Then one evening, as she walked home from work, a sleek black car pulled up beside her. The window rolled down. There he was, the generous stranger from the restaurant. "I hoped I'd find you," he said, grinning. Sophia stopped in her tracks, heart pounding. "You again? Why did you give me that money? Who are you?" The man stepped out, his expression serious yet kind. "I owe you an explanation," he said. "My name is David Brin. I'm the CEO of West Design Enterprises." Her jaw dropped. West Design Enterprises was one of the biggest companies in the country, and David Brin was a well-known billionaire. "I didn't tell you who I was because I wanted to see how you'd react," he continued. "I've spent years building wealth, but I've never seen anyone as selfless as you. Helping that homeless boy wasn't just an act of kindness, it showed who you truly are." Sophia was speechless, struggling to process everything. "But why would someone like you care about me?" she asked. "I'm just a waitress." David smiled. You're much more than that. You have a heart that money can't buy, and I believe the world needs more people like you." He handed her an envelope. Inside is the deed to a small cafe downtown. "It's yours now. Consider it an investment in someone who deserves it." Tears welled in Sophia's eyes. She tried to refuse, but David insisted. "Just promise me one thing," he said. "Keep being the person who inspired me. Keep helping others." From that day forward, Sophia's life transformed. Her cafe became a place where people in need found comfort and kindness. It was everything she had dreamed of. Though she never fully understood why fate had brought David Brin into her life, she knew one thing for certain. Kindness, no matter how small, could change the world.